What's up everyone, welcome back to my top 10 setups of the day series. Before we get started, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel to see more of these amazing setups. Starting off our list is this setup from user Secret Auron, who just finished this setup. For the dual monitor setup, we're looking at two Asus TUF Gaming VG27AQ monitors, both mounted using a North Bayou full motion dual monitor mount. Below these two monitors are a keyboard and Razer mouse, which are resting on a nice big SteelSeries desk mat. Whilst the owner of this setup described it as nothing too fancy, I'm inclined to disagree considering that PC on the right, which already looks amazing with the RGB, and we've also got a 3060 Ti graphics card. My only advice regarding this setup would be to add some decor and maybe some better lighting. Our next setup comes to us from BS Scramjet24, who's finally completed this adorable setup after several months of saving up. Holding up their singular monitor is the same mount from the previous setup, a North Bayou monitor desk mount. Down below the monitor you can of course spot a Nintendo Switch, as well as the glorious Model O mouse. I love the faux brick wall and the banana neon sign, as well as the shelves and the Funko Pops that they're using for the decoration. I'm also really impressed with how amazing this setup looks and how spacious it feels, despite how tight of an area it's in. This next setup belongs to user Lessie20. And it comes with a really unique Metropolitan vibe. It features a dual monitor setup that utilizes some LG monitors, the ever popular glorious Model O mouse, and a sweet SteelSeries mousepad. I love the white and black colour scheme of this setup, and I would love to see it with some matching wall decor. I'm also very interested in seeing what some solid lighting would do for this setup. Next up, we've got the beginnings of a greenery enthusiast with this build from user Biomes, whose name is very fitting. Fitting in with their lovely nature theme is a fantastic mechanical keyboard that consists of some GMK mechanical keys with alpaca switches. For their other peripherals, you can also spot some Vanuatu speakers, a sheet stack and Sundara headphones. For their PC, they're also rocking an N-Case M1 PC case, whose tan colour works well with the green wallpaper. I can't wait to see what this setup will look like with some actual plants added. Next up, we've got a much more modern and minimalistic setup, with this one coming from Mr. Here to Stay. To start off, they're using a Lacombe desk to support all of this gear, including their JBL Mark II 305p speakers and their Rockville speaker stands. OP is clearly a fan of Razer. As for their peripherals, they have a Razer Glyphus extended chroma desk mat that's under a Razer Huntsman mini keyboard, a Razer Viper mouse, and a Razer Kraken headset. To top all of this off with some sweet lichen and decor, we've also got a sweet Nanoleaf configuration. Here we've got a photo from user BaltimukSpeedy, who's showing off their setup that they have in their 150-year-old apartment. While most of their setup is blocked off by the chair, you can at least spot that dual monitor setup with an LG monitor on the bottom and a Samsung monitor on the top. Below that, all you can really spot is a popular and reliable Logitech mouse. I really like how low-key this setup is, as it doesn't really take away from the history of the building that the setup is in. Our next setup comes from Vigorous Reddit, and it's definitely a setup worth sharing. Behind their monitor, they've got a set of wall paneling that we've seen a few times in the form of some Art 3D texture wall panels. For their actual gear, we're looking at 3 Corsair headset stands, each holding a different headset, one of which includes the 58X Jubilee headset. A little less flashy, but no less important, the OP is also using a Logitech mouse. I really love the neon lighting in this build, and it especially looks great with that 3D wall texturing. The next setup on our list is a really cool and unique Rustic build from Zwania80. Similar to the last entry on the list, this setup also utilises wall panelling with the ZMAO hexagonal wall panels. For decoration, they're also using an IKEA Skadis pegboard and an IKEA Dakota footrest. For their actual gear, you can spot a Philips monitor as well as a SteelSeries mouse. The decorations in this build are absolutely what makes this setup so good, and I really love the unique aesthetic that the OP went for. Our second to last setup comes from Chromatic Foam, and it's one of the coziest setups that we've ever featured before. They've got a dual monitor setup with both monitors being supported by a Vivo dual monitor desk mount. For peripherals, we're looking at some pre-Sonos speakers and a Video Seku speaker stands, as well as a very sweet Keychron K2 keyboard with blue switches. All of this gear is being supported by an IKEA classic in the shape of a Calby desk. All in all, this is a super peaceful and zen setup. For our final entry, we've got this absolutely adorable setup from user Creduli. They've got dual monitors with one Asus monitor and one BenQ monitor. Below the monitors on the desk, you can also spot the incredible glorious Model O mouse. To finish this setup off, they've got an amazing League of Legends Secret Labs KDA chair. I love the geometric wall painting, as well as some of the fun decoration on the wall. This setup is definitely a super cute place to game. And that is the end of the list. Check out a description for a list of a lot of the gear that I've mentioned in the video. If you want to see more of these incredible setups, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe with notifications on so that you don't miss the next episode. Leave a comment down below on which setup you think should have been number 1.